Hello everyone, welcome to another t-shirt design tutorial. So today I am going to make this design as you can see here. So this vector I draw, you can see video, you can watch that video in my channel, and this is an example I found. So I am going to make this one better. Also there is some mistake in this design, so it should be being better than who you used to be. So I will use that text. This is the text part. This is the font I will be using here, Block Pro Condensed Regular. You can download this. So I am going to, first of all, I am going to start with this vector part here. So I am going to erase some part of it. As you can see, this is not necessary, and this is how my vector is looking right now, and this is only in black, so I will need a white background of it. So I'm going to select it, then I will take a offset path, create an offset path of it. I'm going to make it round instead of meter, so it should be round, and then click OK. And at this point I'm going to merge and unite to make it a solid shape. I'm going to make it white. Now cut it and press Ctrl B. So as you can see, I have a border of my vector and it will be visible on top of a black background. So I'm going to make it a group. This is the main graphic part it is going to be, and I'm going to place this text something like 3 line on top, 3 line in the bottom, and in the middle I will place my graphic. So here I am going to focus on this text being better than, so this is going to be my focus text. I'm going to start with this two part. So let's say I'm going to keep it real simple here. I will work on some effects on it. So I'm going to keep the text simple. So this is being better. I'm going to outline this text and I'm going to apply a effect which will be the arc lower, not that way. I'm going to make it in negative direction. Click OK. I'm going to drag this down to make it look like this, and that is fine. So I'm going to keep it like this. Someone else, I'm going to make it look like this, which is fine. Okay, so as you can see, I have my text aligned here. As I said, I am going to keep it very simple. So I am going to focus on this part of the text, and I applied that arc lower on my that part of this being better than. So here I am going to apply the opposite, which is going to be the arc upper, just like this. Then I'm going to make it a bit bigger by dragging, just like this. This is fine. So here I'm going to keep it again. I'm going to keep it really simple here. So let's try to align everything here, and this one I'm going to align with the first part of this fitness is not about. So it is going to be as big as that text, and in that way it will remain similar look. So just like this, I'm going to break the fonts here. So everything is now broken here. I'm going to align them in the center position. So as you can see, I have very similar looking effect here, and for this part I'm going to just add some random lines here, maybe like this. I'll change the stroke style to this one. I will bring a copy by pressing Alt, then press Ctrl D to copy this. So I'm going to make it a group, and here I'm going to again align it with this part of the text, which is fine. Reflect the position. I'm going to place it in the center. I'm going to distribute the space from this align toolbar, and that is fine. So this position is good for me. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to drag that to make it smaller. Again I'm going to align it here, just like this, selecting this three, align and then distribute. So this is fine. So as you can see, this is how it is going to be. I'm going to bring this one here, just like the top part. So I'm going to keep a similarity between my text. So this is fine. I'm going to align in the center position. I'm going to distribute, then I'm going to just bring it a little bit closer to each other, which is fine. Okay, so as you can see, this is how it is looking. Now if you look at the design from this angle, it is looking like this design is being a bit wider. So I don't need a wide design, wider looking design. I need a longer looking design, and your design is going to be long or wide, that will depend on the placement of the graphic. So we will fix that. And as you can see, this is my graphic part. So if I just place it here, it is going to be a longer look, a wider looking design. But if I make the graphic part a bit bigger, then I can simply, okay, so for now I'm going to keep this a group. I can bring this down like this, and that will make my design a bit longer looking. Maybe I will make the graphic a bit more bigger, just to maintain a shape of this 4500 and 5400 looking rectangle, something like this. So as you can see, this is going to fit very well, so that is fine. So I'm happy with this position of my text here right now, and I'm going to add some, as you can see, there is a lots of empty space in the background of this graphic here. So I'm going to add something in the background, and for that you can search for a splatter background. You will find a tons of them if you search on Google. So these are called the splatter background. I am going to make it silhouette. This is an image, so it is going to be look like this. I am going to erase some part of it. This is not necessary, so that is good. Now I am going to place it here in this position, so that the background looks a bit filled with this graphic. And as you can see, this is how my design is going to look. That is totally cool. And I'm going to apply some color to it. I will apply, okay, so I'm going to make this ungroup right now. So as you can see, this splatter is coming inside my text parts, and I don't want that, so I'm going to erase this part from here. So it is going to look like this. My text will stay clean, and from here I'm going to, okay, so let's erase this part too, something like this. So as you can see, my design is almost ready. Now whatever I will do here is going to be effects, nothing important part of the design. So just to make it look better. Okay, so this is how it is going to look. Maybe I can fill some more areas with this part, just like this. Okay, maybe I can play with some colors here. So I'm going to make this red. I will make the red a bit darker, and then I will make the rest of it white color, or maybe a bit darker white, something kind of gray. So this is good. I'm going to select this white with my magic wand tool and make this gray. So this is how it is going to be, and I'm going to place that splatter here. So maybe one here, a smaller size, another one here in this area, which is good. So I'm going to select everything in this from this middle area, and I'm going to deselect my this graphic here. So all you can see is this splatter is being selected. I'm going to make them a group. That is fine. So I'm going to change this to this color to make it look like a color variation here. I'm going to put a black background for my this design. Okay, so as you can see, this is how it is going to look, and that is fine for me, nothing wrong in there. So this is looking a bit flat, so let's select this one. I'm going to open transparency, and here I'm going to use my pen tool to create some shapes like this, which I can then fill the entire area with. Just to give it a kind of rough look instead of a plain background. just like this. Okay, so that is fine. That will work. So I'm going to apply some texture to my this design, as you can see. But the design is done already. If I don't do anything else, that is also fine. This design is complete. So I'm going to add some texture to my design, and for doing that, I'm going to take a rectangle here. You need to pay attention here. I'm going to apply this black and white gradient to my this rectangle, and I'm pressing G key on my keyboard, and I'm going to make it look like this. Okay, so from this direction, something like this, and this is the gradient I wanted. Now I'm going to select this one, then go to effect, pixelate, and then color halftone. So here you need to change the setting, send some setting. You can keep this 50, that is not a problem. If I make this radius 25, let's see how it is going to be. So as you can see, this is being a bit smaller than how I want it. So I'm going to change it again. Go to pixelate and color halftone. I'm going to make it 40 this time, and let's see. Okay, so this much is fine. As you can see, I wanted this to create this halftone effect. So this is the effect right now, and if I expand the appearance from this object panel, it will become an image. So if I select it, okay, so let's try again. So as you can see, this is a graphic. I can change the color of it if I want, and once I'm expanding this, it is being an image, and you can see the image trace panel here. So from this panel, I'm going to make it silhouettes, which is looking kind of like this. I can reduce the amount, the threshold amount, and then expand. So this becomes an image. I'm going to make it black. So let's try the color part here, the texture part here. So I'm going to make it kind of look like this, but let's say I'm going to make it a bit smaller for this area. So I'm going to start with the straight lines first. So I'm going to keep it here. Now I'm going to select this one, Control C and Control F. That will create a copy and paste it on top, and with this copy I'm going to make it, okay, if I change the color, you will be able to see. So if I press Shift X, that will become a stroke, as you can see. So I have this original layer here in white or gray, and I have this stroke color. So I'm going to select now this silhouette. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to select this one, this inside the fill shape, and open transparency. So as you can see, this is not being selected, and then here I'm going to press Ctrl F. So Ctrl F will place the text here and texture here, and as you can see, this is how it is looking. So that is fine. Now for this one, I'm just going to change the color to its original, and then put same amount as a stroke. So as you can see, this is how it is going to look, which is really cool. So now for this, it's about part, same, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, then Shift X. So Shift X, and then put 5 point as the stroke. I'm going to select this one. Inside that, I will find this shape, copy this. Now select this inside part of this text, open transparency, and then again press Ctrl V here to place the texture, and as you can see, this is how it is going to look. So again for this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, Shift X. Okay, so maybe here I will make it 10 point stroke because this text is really big. So I'm going to copy this texture here. I'm going to select this inside shape, open transparency, and press Ctrl V here. So as you can see, this is how it is looking. I will need to make it a bit bigger because this text area is really bigger. So something like this. I can even make it squeeze like it, so that will work. So as you can see, this is the texture I wanted to apply to our text, which is really cool, and I'm going to do the same for this part too. So I'm going to select, okay, so I'm going to select this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, Shift X, 5 point stroke, and again I'm going to select this one, inside one, copy this texture. Here I am going to apply that, Ctrl V, but I need to change the direction of it like this. This is fine. So that's cool. For this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, 10-point stroke here. Again, I'm going to copy this texture here, and this one, Ctrl F, just like this. Maybe I'll squeeze it. Okay, so that is fine. So if this stroke is being a bit bigger, we can reduce the size of it, like this 7 point. It is looking better with 7 points, so let's make it 7. That is good. Again, I am going to select this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, 5-point stroke, Ctrl C. Okay, so here I am going to place it like this. So as you can see, the effect is done right now, and that is fine. Now for this part of the, as you can see, this effect is looking cool, but this one is looking a bit different because there is no that kind of a stroke style or effect on this graphic. So we can fix that. For fixing that, I am going to add a ellipse here. Again, I am going to apply this black and white texture. This time I will apply this radial gradient, and I need to change the direction of the black and white. So black should be in the middle, white should be on the side. So not that much, maybe just like this. Something like this is going to work. Okay, so this is fine. Now again, I am going to go to that effect, pixelate, color halftone. Let's keep it 40 and click OK. So this is how it is looking. That is cool. I am going to expand it. I am going to make it silhouette. Sorry, I clicked on the line art option, which is not going to work. So again, I am going to make it silhouette like this. Expand it. I am going to cut it. Selecting this group, and here inside the transparency, I will apply this effect like this. So this is how it is looking, and for this part of this graphic here, I am going to apply a effect, another effect, which is going to be a ellipse. I am going to take a ellipse here, go to object, pattern, and make. So this is how it is looking. I will increase the space between the dots here, and that much is fine. Let's click OK. I'm going to cut it, delete it. Then I need to go inside this graphic where I can select these shapes individually, and here I am going to add those effect to my graphic here, just by drawing some line. But this is being pure black. If I apply this effect on it, it is going to look like this. And then again, I need to do the same for the rest of the graphic. I'm just going to apply some shapes here where the darkest area of my this graphic is, which is fine, and we can apply some texture just like this. So maybe we can add some shading from this area too. This is just to give it a look. If I miss any area, I can simply just erase that part. This is not any special effect, this is just a pattern, so I can simply change the color of it, and that will become like that. So maybe here I will just add a shape like this. Which is fine. Just like this. I'm just randomly adding some details here, just to give it a similar look. as my texture, just like this. So okay guys, so as you can see, this is how it is looking, and that is totally cool. It is looking like similar effect applied on everything. That is fine. So I can add some details to my these shapes too, but that is not really necessary. And this is how it is going to be. This is how my final design is going to be. So that was the part I wanted to teach you guys for this one, and I hope it was helpful. If you learned something new from this one, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't understand any part of it, let me know that too. I'll try to answer your comments. So that's all for today's video guys. Have a great time. Thank you very much.